Hello my brush lads, lasses, and everybody in between. My name is Tyler, and today I am bringing you the final commander deck in my Thank You Dave series made for a friend of mine on Twitter, @SugarDogster, for all of his help in my quest to foil out my prized King Ghidorah commander deck. We've covered Mono Black Rats for Dave himself, Liliana Chandra Tribal for his daughter Olivia, a Johnny Tezzeret Tribal for his son Gavin, and today we'll be wrapping things up for his daughter Ava, combining the tribes of Unicorns and Dinosaurs. Dave, I hope you've enjoyed this mini-series, and I thank you so much for all of your help. Now, let's get on to the deck. To start things off, I went with Emiel the Blessed as our commander. A 4/4 legendary unicorn for 2 white, Emiel can blink a creature we control for 3 generic mana, meaning that he exiles it and then returns it to play immediately afterwards. When another creature enters the battlefield under our control, we can pay either a green or a white, and if we do, it enters with a +1/+1 counter, or double that if the creature is a unicorn. Unicorns exist primarily, if not purely, in green-white, and since dinosaurs are focused primarily in green-white-red, Emiel seemed like the best fit for both tribes. Let's start by looking at our magical horses. For unicorns we have Brightmare, Capuchin Unicorn, Good Fortune Unicorn, Inspiring Unicorn, Lathiel the Bounteous Dawn, Lonesome Unicorn, Loyal Unicorn, Majestic Auricorn, Mesa Unicorn, Noble Quarry, Prized Unicorn, Ronom Unicorn, Splendor Mare, Valorous Steed, and Zebra Unicorn. Brightmare can tap up to 1 target creature when it enters the battlefield and gain us life equal to that creature's power. Paired with Emiel, it can lock down a threat and gain us a ton of life. Capuchin and Ronom unicorns can both sacrifice themselves to blow up enchantments, or an artifact as well in Capuchin's case, though this comes with the downside of having to pay mana and tap itself to do so. Good Fortune Unicorn puts a +1/+1 counter on creatures when they enter the battlefield under our control, while Inspiring Unicorn gives a blanket +1/+1 boost to all of our creatures when it attacks. Lathiel is a legendary unicorn with lifelink who puts +1/+1 counters on creatures on each end step if we gain life that turn, and puts an amount of counters equal to that life. Lonesome Unicorn is a vigilant body that can also be sent on an adventure to get us a 2/2 Vigilant Knight, similar to Valorous Steed. However, the Steed makes the token when it enters the battlefield, again pairing nicely with our commander. Loyal Unicorn is another vigilant body that has a powerful Lieutenant ability, preventing combat damage and giving vigilance to all of our creatures at the start of our combat step if we control our commander. Majestic Auricorn is a vigilant mutate creature, gaining us 4 life when it mutates, while Mesa Unicorn is a sturdy 2/2 for 2 with lifelink. Noble Quarry is an enchantment creature with Bestow, so it can either be a 1/1 creature that must be blocked by all available blockers when it attacks, or it can become an aura that gives +1/+1 to whatever it enchants while giving them the same lure effect. It can also be very powerful when paired with some of our bigger dinosaurs, which we'll be covering next. Prized Unicorn also must be blocked by all available creatures when it attacks, which can open up the path for our big hitters to secure a win. Splendor Mare has lifelink and can be cycled away for 1 and a white, meaning we'll discard it and then draw a new card. If we cycle it, then we get to put a lifelink counter on one of our creatures. Our last unicorn, the Zebra Unicorn, has a very interesting worded form of quasi-lifelink, gaining us 1 life for every 1 damage it deals. Worth noting, since it isn't keyworded with lifelink, it's one of the handful of creatures in the game that can double up on that effect if we give it lifelink. For the other half of our creature base, the dinosaurs, we're starting with the human, the Atzokan Seer, a human mana dork that can sacrifice itself to return a dinosaur from our grave to our hand. As for the dinosaurs themselves, get ready. With the likes of Polyraptor, Crested Herdcaller, and Thundering Spineback, we can get access to dinosaur tokens. Carnage Tyrant is a big beefy boy with hexproof and trample that can't be countered. Goring Ceratops is a double striker that gives all of our other creatures double strike when it attacks. Imperial Aerosaur is a flyer that pumps another creature with +1/+1 and flying when the Aerosaur enters the battlefield, and Kinjali Sunwing taxes our opponents by making all of their creatures enter the battlefield tapped. Ripjaw Raptor and Trapjaw Tyrant both come with Enrage, meaning that the Raptor draws us a card whenever it's dealt damage, and the Trapjaw exiles an opponent's creature until it leaves the battlefield whenever it is dealt damage. Grazing Whiptail is a body with reach to help with flyers, Verdant Sun's avatar gains us life equal to a creature's toughness whenever it or another creature enters the battlefield under our control. Again, a great synergy with Emiel. And finally, Galta is a massive 12/12 for 12 that cheapens itself based on the total power of creatures we control. Moving on to our artifacts, we run Soul Ring, Selesnya Signet, and Arcane Signet as our mana rocks. Coat of Arms gives every creature +1/+1 for every other creature on the battlefield that shares at least one type with it. Conjurer's Closet lets us flicker one of our creatures on our end step to allow extra uses of Emiel's ability or to gain extra life with Verdant Avatar, and Stoneforge Masterwork acts as a mini coat of arms for whatever creature it is equipped to. We also run Heirloom Blade, an equipment that gives +3/+1 to its wielder, and when that wielder dies, lets us reveal cards from the top of our library until we reveal a creature card that shares a creature type with it and put that card into our hand. Cryptic Gateway lets us cheat creatures into play by giving us the ability to tap 2 untapped creatures we control, to put a creature that shares a type with both of those creatures into play from our hand. And our final artifact is Pyre of Heroes, an artifact that lets us pay 2 and sacrifice a creature to search our library for a creature of the same type with a mana value of 1 higher than the sacrificed creatures, and put it into play, though we can only do this as a sorcery. Our instants mainly focus on flickering our creatures to reuse ETB effects. Acrobatic Maneuver, Cloud Shift, Ephemerate, Flicker of Fate, and Otherworldly Journey all offer some form of this effect, exiling our creatures and then returning them to play either instantly or at the next end step. For protecting our board, powerful spells like Akroma's Will, Blinding Fog, Flawless Maneuver, Heroic Intervention, Join Shields, and Make a Stand offer various effects from hexproof to indestructible to help keep our creatures safe. For removal, Path to Exile and Swords to Plowshares can exile a target with minimal upside to our opponents, while Coordinated Barrage can hit an attacking or blocking creature for however much of a single creature type we control. We also have a piece of removal in our sorceries with Savage Stomp, allowing us to make use of our dinosaurs and rage triggers, and also any problem creature small enough to kill. Thunderherd Migration, Kodama's Reach, and Cultivate all search up for basic lands to ramp us into our big creatures. And Commune with Dinosaurs can help us by either finding us a land or a dinosaur in the top 5 cards of our deck. Moving on to our enchantment suite, we run Alpha Status, Arachniform, Asceticism, Blessed Sanctuary, Descendant's Path, and Reigns of the Vine Steed. Alpha Status gives the enchanted creature +2/+2 for each other creature type in play that shares a creature type with it. If we partner that with Arachniform, which gives the enchanted creature an additional +2/+2, as well as reach and every creature type, we can hit some truly massive numbers since Alpha Authority looks at opponents' creatures as well. Slap that on Galta and just charge into someone's face. Asceticism gives hexproof and the ability to regenerate to all of our creatures. Blessed Sanctuary prevents non-combat damage to our creatures as well as makes us unicorn tokens whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under our control, which pairs very nicely with things like our Flicker effects, Emiel, and Conjurer's Closet. Descendant's Path lets us cheat creatures into play on our upkeep if there's both a creature on top of our library and it shares a type with a creature we already have in play. And Reigns returns to play attached to another creature if the thing it was originally enchanting dies, and we control another creature of the same type. For our land base, we have Arch of Araska and Bonder's Enclave to help us draw cards. Sunpetal Grove, Horizon Canopy, Fortified Village, Command Tower, Brushland, and Branch Off Pathway all have the ability to give us either of our colors. For utility, Blighted Woodland can ramp us into 2 basics, Bredegard Stronghold can give some buffs to up to 2 of our creatures, Gavany Township can put counters on every creature we have in play, and Croson Verge can sacrifice itself to snag us a forest and a plains and put them onto the battlefield. Wrap things up with 13 basic forests and 12 basic plains, and we are ready to go. Thank you for joining me today on how to combine 2 very fun and interesting creature tribes into one cohesive deck. I want to give one more massive thank you to David and his family for all of his help, and I want to encourage you all to hit up Andrew, Kyle, and I in our socials in the description below. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and ring that little bell so that you never miss an upload. Peace!